Happy Thursday and happy Facebook Live time. I am Melissa Kerman and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I've been a demonstrator for over 17 years. I love what I do and I love sharing it with you. And today I have something a little bit different from usual. I am going to be doing a craft room tour, kind of showing you some of my essential storage methods for all of my different crafting supplies. So I'm excited to share that today. I see people joining in. Say hello and let me know you're out there, where you're from. Tell me about your craft room too. I'd love to hear it. So just a little bit on a personal note, I was at the beach this past week for a couple of days. And it was really, really nice. We had perfect weather, you know, like mid-80s. Saw the sunrise one morning. I actually read a book. Didn't finish it, mind you, but I did actually, you know, just relax and read my book and hang out with my husband and daughter. So it was super fun. And I thought this would be a great week to do my craft room tour since I was, you know, out of town, and just works out logistically. So anyway, what else? We did have some car trouble, a little scare. We did manage to drive my car home, but I'm probably going to have to get a new car, which is not a lot of fun to think about, although my husband likes to think about it. But not a huge rush because I'm not driving very many places these days. So that's a good thing. So, oh, I'm looking very beachy. I think that's what I see Christy say. Hi, Christy. Did get a little bit of color, a little bit of a burn on my, you know, my chest or whatever, but nothing so bad that it hurt or anything, or that it's, you know, itching or anything. So always a good thing, right? My goal is to not burn when I go to the beach. Anyway, I got a few quick announcements and then we'll get started with my craft room tour. I see somebody's from Montana. Is that Debbie? Okay, yeah, it's welcome. Good to have you here. I love Montana. Those mountains are just amazing. Hi, Bonnie. Yay, good to see people here. Okay, so let's see what I wanted to say. Okay, so you guys know I'm going to keep reminding you, we earned bonus days coupons with every $50 purchase in July and through August 3rd. And now is the time to redeem them, so don't waste those $5 coupons. You got $5 for every $50 you spent. And you would have gotten an email the day you ordered, so you can always look it up, look up bonus days or coupons, and you should be able to find it. Hi Sharon, hi Amy, hi Vicky, yay. I know I missed some of you. I will say hello later, of course. So thanks for joining in. Okay, so let's see. So yes, so bonus days, don't miss out on using those coupons. I also want to give you like a coming soon little tidbit. You may be aware that lots of people talking about the new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Demonstrators were able to order it as of August 1st. I have mine, and I have shown mine in Facebook Lives the last few times. And customers will be able to get it starting September 1st. So yay, so much fun. Hi Robin, hi Pam, yay. Good to see you guys here. And then last but not least on the announcement front, hi Wendy. Let's see, hi Lena, yay, people arriving, wonderful. Hi Melanie, good to see you virtually. All right, so let's see, what else? Yes, product shares, that's my last little announcement. I'm working furiously to finish cutting and preparing for the product shares. I'm kind of in the home stretch. All I have to do is cut all the designer paper, which is no small task, but it's actually a much more manageable task than, you know, dividing up the embellishments and wrapping ribbon. So I was intending to try to start shipping tomorrow. I think I might be a few days out, but it's coming really, really soon. So those of you, just get ready for some fun mail. Product shares are just the best. Hi, Deborah. Good to see you here. Yay. Glad you made it. Okay, so that's it for announcements. So there is not going to be a project demonstration today because I'm going to be doing a craft room tour, if you didn't hear that at the beginning. So I'm going to kind of take you around my space. Please let me know how the sound is. I've got this mic. I used it the first time last week, and I think the sound is a little bit better using it than not. So anyway, just let me know if there's any adjustments I need to make. I'm going to be holding my phone as I walk around, so I'll be able to see your comments a little bit better. And please feel free to comment on any of the things I'm sharing in the way of my crafting space. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background on how I created my space. And let's do that first before I pick up the phone to walk around. I spent a lot of time planning and figuring out my space. In behind me you see shelves. Those are from the Container Store, and they have lots of different configurations you can do and different thicknesses of shelves, but it's completely adjustable. You can put the shelves wherever you want them, and then of course there's all these little containers and stuff that you can put ribbon in and other sorts of things. So that's sort of the top half of my crafting organization mess. It's not really a mess, it's actually quite organized. And then the bottom half is furniture from IKEA, and I'm going to show you that in just a short bit. I'll tell you more about that in just a second. So let's see. Hi Deb, hi Sally, yay. Love to see you here. So we're doing a craft room tour today, and I think I'm ready to moving around. Alrighty, and then I'll go ahead and turn my camera around, and on my far table, hey look, I've put some stuff on the wall. So one of the best parts of doing this planning for the craft room tour was that it motivated me to clean, and my space has not been this clean or organized in a very long time. If I'm going to show it, it's got to look really good. So actually I'm going to start with showing you my workspace. So here is my desk. Like, go figure, there's almost nothing on there. But it's so clean. I actually cleaned it and everything. Now this is also furniture from IKEA, this desk, this sort of curve around desk. It's completely customizable. And it's the Gallant line of furniture there. My bottom half furniture, the sliding doors and the drawers are also the Gallant. And I assume that they still have these. Now these, I come in two different heights. Now I got a height so that when I'm standing up against this, it's a great work surface for doing my cutting. I do have a bigger cutter that I keep in the sliding door below. I'll show you that in a minute. So it's just a great workspace. And of course I have my new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine there. There is a space down below to store it, but I mostly keep it out. So we're going to start with my the shelves here. So obviously my stamp sets are right here. Now I have the ones on the right are ones that are older or that I have used already a bunch or been in the catalog for a while. And I always sort of keep the newest things off to the side so that I know what I still want to design with, what I haven't played with yet. Most of them are new things. And then I also have dies in the little box right there, you can see. And that just helps me remember and focus on the products that I need to play with. So there's my blends alcohol markers. The ones at the top are all my new ones that I haven't sorted through. And then my in color ink pads and re-inkers. You'll notice that on the right, the newest ink colors, the 2022. I don't have any re-inkers for those. Still haven't ordered those, need to. They were not available for a while. So that's on my next order. I've got some technique books that I created a long time ago and have been doing those for years with my club members. They're actually quite full. In fact, they're so full that they're bursting. I got two of them. Actually, I think I have a third one somewhere as well. And then all the lovely cards some people have sent me. I know I'm missing some, but anyway, so much fun. So anyway, my in-color bookmark. Those of you who ordered in July got that bookmark. Now I made a bunch, so I'm actually going to be giving those out until supplies run out. So if you order, you'll get one of those. Now here is where I keep all of my ribbon. And the top shelf all along, that's all retired ribbon. The second shelf down is mostly current. Some of it is retired. And then moving on down, more ribbon. And the stuff at the bottom is the newest stuff. Again, kind of helps keep it in front of me so that I know what what I want to play with and need to play with. Now I use binder clips for all kinds of things. I actually attach them to piles of scraps that are all the same size so that I can use them and it keeps them orderly. Got my little tools in there. And then this is one of my favorite things, is my ink caddy, I guess is what you call it. This is a Stampin' storage item. You can see I've got a bunch of ink pads up top. Those are the old style ones. mostly. And a lot of the slots are open only because they're out in the midst of, in the middle, in some project that I'm in the middle of. As I always have many projects that I'm in the middle of. And the thing that I love about this storage caddy, it's 60 slots. And because it has the spot for the reinker and for the markers, and by having the marker in there, it helps me to know where they are. So I just love that. I am a Stampin' Storage affiliate, and I do have some other Stampin' Storage things I'll show you shortly. But anyway, if you use the link on my website to buy anything from Stampin' Storage, I will get a tiny little commission from that. So we're going to move on down to my sliding sliding door cabinet. Now, I intentionally wanted these sliding doors because I find that if I don't have my paper in behind a door, it fades. And I have seen this, and it's kind of happens gradually, but I wanted all of my cardstock in behind a closed door so I don't have to worry about that fading. So I have some extra overstock of packs of cardstock at the bottom, bunch of white cardstock, and then these are most of the colors. I know what all the colors are, but I have them labeled. Actually, some are not exactly up to date, need to be updated, but most of them are right, and I've just taken a punch and punched half circle and put it on there, so I know what color I'm looking at. Now, this is one of my favorite storage methods, is these old Stampin' cases. I've put all my sponges in, and I do it by color group. So I've got my bolds in this one, and then I've got one for my regals, my subtles, my neutrals that are in the brown range, my neutrals that are in the black and gray range, in colors, and then of course I have some for sponge daubers. And I recycle and reuse as much as I possibly can. So I have recycled sponges in there where I wash them out when a color retires or something, and then I reuse them as I need to, and the same with sponge daubers. Now, everybody needs a labeler. I use this all the time. You can see all of these have that label on them, so I can keep track, and then I got some adhesive under there as well. So that's it for this side of my cabinet. If you guys have questions as I move along, feel free to say them. I'll try to answer them live, or I will, check them out later. Now this, of course, is side 2. Not all my cardstock actually fits on the right side, so I had to put some of it over here. Most of these are the in colors, and then some of the neutrals that I don't use as often. And up here at the top, I'm actually sitting on the floor, guys. I like to sit on the floor. Anyway, I've got all my embossing powders and glitters, and I have them in the old stamp cases. They work so well, and I've kept all of them, even though I put all of my old stamps into the new cases. But so you can see I have all of those in there. And then I also have some other things that I use the cases for. So you may know that occasionally I'll show how to make your own ink pad using a piece of felt. So this is just a piece of felt that I've made into my own ink pad, and I have a little sort of map on there, if you will, of what colors I've used and an example. Now, even if these colors retire, I can probably reuse that piece of felt, and so I just hold on to it, and even that image is retired, but that's okay. So I have a bunch of those in here that I will use probably again. And then here I've got my scoring tool, got some adhesive sheets hidden down under there for lack of a better place to put them, overstock of cardstock, and this is my big curl cutter, and then my regular Stampin' Up! Cutter, and use both of those. And then some other miscellaneous plates and cutters down below, and everybody needs baby wipes, right? My old Big Shot that is now retired in the corner. So that's pretty much it. And I do also have up here some Spectrum pads, and of course those are now retired, but they'll probably come back again, so it's all good. All right, let's move over to my drawers. And I actually, when I bought these units, I actually measured the depths of the drawers intentionally so I would know that my items would fit. So before I picked this Gallant system, you know, I was very detailed about knowing what would go where. So the height of this drawer is exactly the height I need it to be for the punches. Now, if they're standing straight upright, it will sort of, it doesn't bump actually, but occasionally I've noticed it will bump. But usually these are sort of at a slight angle. And these separators are also things that I got at IKEA that are intended to help organize. And then of course these are my bigger punches. I'm trying to get better about putting labels on each of the punches because it's hard to remember the names of things all the time. And then of course over here I've got a couple of retired punches that I use occasionally for things and just have them handy. Now this punch right here is my it's my brand new punch. It's that postage stamp punch that's brand new. It's still in its wrapper, and I don't take it out of the wrapper until I test it because you do want to test whatever you buy from Stampin' Up! Right away, especially punches. Make sure they work properly because there is a 90-day return policy. Or exchange policy, I should say. So I leave it in the cello, the bag, until I've tested it. Make sure I test it pretty soon after I get it. And then if anything's wrong, I let Stampin' Up! Know. And they were always great about replacing things as needed. So you guys may have seen me show the new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in my last 2 weeks. I actually used it last week, but the sides fold down just like that. And I've used it only for, well actually I did use it for some cutting as well. So I've used some dry embossing and some cutting for this, but just a little bit. And so far so good. I really am enjoying it. Goes through very smoothly. All right, I'm going to focus on a couple of drawers here. Now the way I planned this was the things that I would use the most are at the top. And then the bottom drawer is actually a little bit deeper than the other three. So I'm just going to go right down to the bottom drawer. And these are all my dies. Now I barely ever use these dies over here, but I do have a full set of alphabet letters, which, you know, who knows, might come in handy. I did a 50th anniversary thing for a friend a couple years back, and they were very handy to have. I have the anyway, the letters there, and they're big, you know, big, like, I don't know, 2-inch letters or whatever. And then all my embossing folders. Now these are my current ones. These are my retired ones. Embossing folders are one of those things that I just don't like to get rid of because just, you know, I don't know, I just love embossing folders. I can't part with them. And then these are all my dies. Now I want to just point out that when things retire, they come out of these drawers for the most part, except for this kind of stuff, which I don't know where I'd put. But like dies, I take out of the drawer if it's not something that I'm going to keep or I'm going to, you know, give away or whatever. So it might look like I don't have a ton, but that's because I cycle things out when they retire. Now, I also have a thing about punches. Can't seem to get rid of punches. I have this drawer full of tons of punches. One of these days, somebody's going to have a jackpot of punches. And every once in a while, I'll go into this drawer and pull out a punch that, you know, might be handy for something that's not current, but might be useful for some project that I'm working on. So there's that. I see, Wendy, you can't part with embossing folders either. Yep, I love embossing folders. Now I'll just show you quick. I have a couple of sort of, I won't call them junk drawers. These are actually like little treat drawers. All kinds of fun little things that I've made. Look at this tag here. I just love this tag. So cute. Is that so cute or what? I made extras of them because I loved it so much. And actually a couple years ago. So now I just find uses for them, right? And then I have these little bags, and anyway, there's a ton of fun little trinkets and stuff. And sometimes when I want something special to give away to somebody, I go in that drawer and find something fun. Okay, so top drawer here. Now we're sort of moving away from my desk, so these are things I'm not reaching for every minute of the day, but I do use them a lot. So bags, every size and shape of bag you can imagine. And this is not even including the cello bags that I get for product shares. I have a whole other container for for all my different sizes of cello bags. But I use Ziploc bags a lot. These are all recycled baggies, which I use, and I'll show you what I use a lot of them for later. And these are all like Stampin' Up! Containers and baggies. So these are just recycled, and those are new ones. Sometimes they're not even current because I have some extras that have carried over. And then moving on down, mostly just little display stands for cards and more little gifty things. More, I don't even know what all that is. my card organizer, all kinds of miscellaneous projects. This drawer I love. Now this is actually pretty empty because most of my larger containers are being used for sorting through my product share stuff. I've got ribbons in them and embellishments and all that. But I also use these old embellishment containers for putting ink in for an ink palette, or when I do a class and I include something that's that needs a container, I'll grab one of those containers and it'll just go in with the kit. And then I also keep the little containers that embossing powder comes in, because I use those for things. And sometimes if I have little pieces that go with a card when I actually have people at my house, which who knows if that'll ever happen again at this rate, I put them in that as well. All right, so moving over here, I got a few more things I wanted to show you on this wall of organization. So here I put cards that I want handy to send. So these are all current for the most part, although it's ever changing. I always need a million thank you cards, so I have a bunch in there. Envelopes, and then ideas that I'm working on for the technique classes and clubs. And up at the top right there, I'm just going to point out those little bins. The one on the left is all pouches for my card salad. I've talked about card salad before, but I'm going to talk about it a little bit more in detail and show you some examples in just a minute. So that's filled with what I call card salad. It's, it's big. And then in the next bin is cards that need to be stamped on the back or inside pieces. And then of course on the right, projects to finish, which who knows if they'll ever get finished. Those are typically things that are mostly done. They just need the attention of sitting down and doing them. And there's not enough hours in the day to do all the crafting things I want to do, and I always have leftover things. All right, so my desk. I have some things on my desk I want to show you, but before I do that, let's go to this unit, which is also a very popular IKEA piece of furniture. I cannot remember what it's called though, but I love how thin the drawers are. You can see there's several of them. The 3 drawers in the bottom are deeper, and the 3 drawers at the top are more shallow. And what's inside are all the things that I use like all the time. So the top shelf is all my adhesives, every which way, every kind. And then you guys see me using these are like plasticized sheets that had adhesive on them. I use those when I want to put adhesive on something and have it at the ready to use, or I put adhesive on it by accident and need to have a surface to put it on that it won't stick to. I've got my my art masking tape, which is like Post-it note paper in a big roll, and just every adhesive you could imagine in that drawer. My next drawer, these are not even all of my blocks. So all my blocks, of course, got to have those handy. Oh, Alex cart, very good, Melanie. Yes, that's exactly what it's called. And they have different heights of them as well. And I just love it. I love how the drawers slide, and these insert containers. So this is got these rubberized gray inserts that are partitions for all the different things that I have in there. So this, of course, is all my markers. Can't ever have enough Wink of Stella. And I have more over here. I think I might be, you know, like in withdrawal if I don't have enough Wink of Stella. So I have all of those. And then some old type markers, like I have a Versa marker in here. Occasionally I'll go in if I need to touch something up with that. And then I even have like the old gold and silver marker that we used to carry, which I love. Occasionally I'll pull that out. So you can see all the little storage things in here. I got my mats and my silicone craft sheets and the, let's see, the old Stamp-A-Majig. You guys remember this guy? Don't really need that too often these days with our clear photopolymer stamps. And then our masks, so that's where all that is. And then in here, this is another one of the containers. This is kind of, a lot of people, you will use it for kitchen stuff, but this is also an IKEA insert that just, you know, helps keep things organized. So, you know, my sponges, sponge daubers, these are uninked Stampin' Spots, sanding blocks, you know, all of my glitters and powders. And then I even have a set of little mini salt shakers. That's not salt, that's glitter. So fun, right? My sponge brayer, and then I also have the old style brayer. I think it's in the bot next drawer down. Moving along. Heat tools, Velcro, magnets. You know, these, of course, I don't use very much, but something we used to carry. Also magnet sheets, other materials that I might use. And then last but not least, in this bottom drawer, more storage. So tape, got just my packing tape and some miscellaneous things, scrub. And I actually, this is my box for my Take Your Pick tool, which I just found. I had been missing the attachment that is the stylus, and I was so excited that I found the box because the stylus is in there, so yay. Now, just while I'm down low here, and of course this is all the stuff that I can just reach, you know, in a second. I just want to point out I store reusable papers down there, work surfaces, other things, and then I got more like grid paper down here, so I use every last little spot to maximize my space. I got my recycle bin down there, my garbage, like you needed to see that. And then in this corner, I've got this great little caddy, and it's tucked away down here because it's, you know, kind of hidden, but I kind of like it hidden because it's a little bit less cluttery. But it's got all kinds of tools in there, all my extra scissors, and I've got my sprays and my big ATG gun and palette knives and my aqua painters and water painters and all that. So yeah, lots of good tools down there. Alrighty, home stretch here. All right, so desk super clean, right? It did not look this way earlier, and it, you know, it tends towards chaos. You guys all know, right? But I want to show you a few things up here. This is how I'm storing my accessories. Now, again, I take out the things that I've retired and put them somewhere else, give them away, so that I really only have at the ready the things that are current to the extent possible. So in here, I've just got my rhinestones and pearls on this side, and my, you know, gold and sort of more neutral embellishments here on the right, and then all the other colored embellishments on the left. So I could just kind of go through and find what I need, and it's right here at the ready, but it's tucked under my little counter here, so that makes it super handy. Now this little extra shelf is attached at the back. It's not actually physically attached to it. It's just sitting on top. So it's a great way to have some added workspace without sacrificing you know, anything as far as the utility of your space. Alrighty, more tools. These ones, using those all the time. My pencils and my Take Your Pick and all that sort of thing. And this right here, these are things that I've just been working on, You might recognize this. This was a focal piece from, I think, last week's demonstration that I didn't manage to do anything with. Slightly different from the others. And then I've got some other things in here that I'm working on. You might recognize that. You know, these are like my little gems of pieces where it's like, I got to do something with those. But then, you know, I've moved on to the next project, and then I've got a bunch of pieces that are dry embossed because, you know, you never know when you might need a particular dry embossed piece. So I just figure I do those for a given project, and then I just go in there to my little stash, see what I got. All right, so over here, now I talked about card salad before. So I don't know about you guys, but when I'm crafting, you know, I might have to stamp like 3 different sentiments or 3 flowers in 3 different colors or whatever to try to find the right one that works for my project. And so when I'm done, I end up with all these little pieces and parts. You guys might recognize that from a couple weeks back. So I've got a bunch of pieces in here that all are little gems for potential cards, right? So when I finish a sort of creative adventure, shall we call it, I take my pieces. I try to be religious about this. I wasn't always that way, but now I am trying to be really good about it. And I put them all in a baggie. So they're sort of coordinating pieces. And then later on, I can go back and make something with them or give it away or, you know, make a 3x3 card. Let's see if I can find another good one in here. They're all, I think, facing the other way. Oh yeah, so this was from the other day, just some scraps and pieces. Die cut a leaf, one of those gorgeous new leaf dies. So I keep the ones at my desk that are most current. Recognize that? That's my Whale of a Time scraps. Because I might likely go back into those before either they retire or before I move on to another project. So this is actually coming back. This, I forget what it's called. I can't remember what it's called, but I just found this the other day. Thought, oh, this is current now. I can maybe play with those pieces and parts, more pieces and parts of things I've played with. And then the other thing I have in here is this little bucket. Well, I have baggies, right? So I take those baggies from that drawer and put them in here so that when I have a pile of leftover pieces and parts from a project, I can just throw them in a baggie, and I know I've got it all in one place, and it's more likely to get used. So the other thing I have in this little bucket is all these little sentiment pieces. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about here, right? You're crafting, it's like you're trying to find the right word, the right shape, and you end up with all these little pieces and parts. It's like, you know, that's a happy birthday on white. Like, that's going to come in handy for some other project. So I've been starting to just put all these into this little bucket here. And then when I'm looking for a sentiment, I go into the bucket first and hope that I find a piece that's just the right size or shape or color, or it gives me an idea. So I just have to do less to make the whole thing happen. So you can see I got a whole bunch of pieces in there of sentiments that I've stamped and whatnot. So that is that bucket. So these are little like card salad packets that I've taken and made them into nice little card packets. So I call these card salad, miscellaneous pieces and parts. Some have more in them, some have less. And then I take them and, you know, might give them to somebody and say, hey, here's a challenge. Make a card with this. There's some cute little pieces in here. I'll add a little ribbon and maybe some card bases. So it's just fun. I did this with my team a couple months back, and they came up with some really fun ideas with the pieces and parts. So those are just some card salad assembled kits, if you will. The other thing I like to do, I have this other little section up here, this little container, is I like to make 3x3 cards. So I've got, you know, just some white 3x3 pieces here and some cards that actually were part of a swap a while back. And every once in a while, I'll go into my little card salad bin and I will just take some pieces and parts and make a card out of it. And I'm going to show you guys this. This was my, a few weeks ago, I was playing around and I thought, well, I can take little tiny pieces of ribbon and make a 3x3 card with it just by wrapping all those different ribbons around the back side. I have so many scraps of ribbon. Here, let me just show you. I mean, that's just a tiny, small smattering. I always end up with these little pieces of ribbon that I got nothing to do with. So I could just totally see, I could even see making a full-size card like that. Just fun, you know, get some different texture and colors, and anyways, really fun. So many different things you can do with scraps where you don't even really have to start, from scratch. So put that back. We're good. So anyway, there is my lovely space. I've got some other units down below. Most of those things probably not too interesting. Got a file cabinet there with some specialty papers, watercolor paper off there to the side. But I think that is pretty much it. I'm just looking around to see if there's anything else. If you guys have questions about anything. And of course I have these bins up at top. That blue one right there has overstock of adhesive, and then I've got on this side, those ones have paper pumpkin kits in it that I haven't yet made. Yeah, so that's kind of the deal. That's it. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around, see if you guys have any thoughts or questions. I've been talking so much that I didn't really get a chance to see your comments, but I will go and look at them after the live and see if you guys have any thoughts or ideas, things that you do. It made you think of, different creative ways of storing your own things. So anyway, it's so much fun to share my space with all of you and how I store all of my things. And I'll just say thank you right now for being my excuse to make my space that much more clean and organized today. Thank you for the motivation. It was so much fun. We'll see how long I can keep it this way, but it is a workspace, right? So it's gonna get to be chaotic every once in a while. You just kind of pick it up and make order out of it again, right? So I am so grateful for my space. So anyway, I will take some photographs of some of the more organized drawers and whatnot. I'll put them on a blog post. That'll be up by Saturday. So with maybe a few comments and details in there as well. Look forward to reading your comments, see if you had any thoughts after the live is over. So, if you're joining me on YouTube, please comment and let me know what you think as well. So anyway, I guess, let's see. Just a reminder, don't forget those bonus days coupons. Make sure to use them before they expire. They will expire on August 31st. Product share update coming soon. I will let you all know when those get shipped, because it's going to be happening in the next few days. And I will be back next Thursday, the 27th. Can't believe it, almost the end of August. I am actually in kind of disbelief. I see people sending their kids off to college, and soon my daughter's going to be going off to college, and I kind of can't even believe it's happening with all this COVID madness happening. So I'm a little bit nervous about that, but hopefully all will be well. So, all right, I see people commenting. I see you have a card buffet box too. Wonderful, Robin. I'd love to see if you make something to share it with, with your card salad packet or whatever. Just fun to see what other people create. You need to see out my windows. Let's see. It's actually getting kind of dark, but I could do that. I hope you can get back in my space too soon too, Sue. Okay, let's see. Out my windows. Yeah, I got my little lights, and it's, just my wall of green. I love my tree house. Getting my multi-season space. And my prints on the wall, still got to work on that. It's a little bit bare. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'll hope to see you next week, same time, same channel, Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I hope you all stay healthy and safe. And I look forward to seeing you next week and reading your comments too. Have a great week. Bye, everybody.